Welcome to Slay What? Podcast where two women will not... You can't mouth along with me, bitch.
Over.
Podcast where two women will not shut the fuck up.
About horror.
And what are we talking about today?
Meth Gator.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Let's get deep into Meth Gator.
We're talking about the substance, actually.
All right. Yeah.
I'm very excited for this one.
Oh, yeah. Would have been a little bit more exciting had Demi won the Oscar last night.
I know, but she should have.
She definitely should have.
For those of you who don't know, which you should if you're listening to this podcast episode, but this movie is a 2024 body horror film directed by Coralie Fargeat. Is that how you say it? Fargeat. Is that
Fargeat.
it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, I'm not French. I don't fucking know. The story centers on Elizabeth Sparkle, who is starred by Demi Moore, a once celebrated Hollywood star whose career has waned with age. On her 50th birthday, Elizabeth is dismissed from her long-running aerobics TV show by her producer, Harvey, played by Dennis Quaid, due to her age. Distraught, she encounters a drug known as the substance, which promises to create a younger, more beautiful, more perfect version of herself. Desperate, Elizabeth administers the drug, resulting in the emergence of a younger alter ego named Sue, who is played by Margaret Qualley. The two share a consciousness, but must alternate control of the shared life every 7 days, with strict rules governing their existence. As Sue's confidence and hedonistic lifestyle propel her to stardom, tensions escalate between the two selves. Sue begins to disregard the switching schedule, causing Elizabeth to age rapidly and deteriorate physically. Their conflict culminates in a grotesque transformation, leading to catastrophic consequences that explore themes of identity, societal beauty standards, and the destructive pursuit of eternal youth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, there's a lot to unpack here.
Correct. But I also do have this question so I watched it 3 times now. Once a while ago, 2 just within the last 48 hours. How connected are they? In terms of consciousness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was always expecting like Sue to wake up and already know that like, oh, the apartment is destroyed.
I feel like she kind of does, and then she sees it and then loses her shit.
But like, are they one?
That's what they say.
Ultimately? Okay.
You are one.
That's true.
They
And
say
you
that.
have to respect the balance.
Right.
Which they don't.
Sue don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was directed by Coralie Fargeat, and of course she's French.
I know. And a lot of people, but
just-
I know.
yeah.
Well, French horror is the best horror.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we think so,
Mhm.
obviously. But also, I think that people clearly reading the articles about this movie have a huge issue with like the nudity.
Yes,
Huge.
they do. Huge issue with it.
And I like rewatched her first directorial debut, Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of nudity in that too. Like she's French. They're
She's
just
French.
like, they're more open about that. Europe in general. The substance, the nudity is on purpose.
Right.
And like the lingering on the bodies,
Mm-hmm.
that's entirely on purpose.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to get into it.
Yes. Yeah. I have a lot
so
to
like
say.
we said, her previous work is Revenge, which we have both seen.
Mhm.
And then she's just done a lot of shorts, and one of them is called like Reality Plus. Did you read anything about what this
I
is
didn't
about?
read anything about other than that it was like her foray into like sci-fi work.
Right. So apparently it's like about a brain chip that acts on people's sensory perceptions and allows them to see themselves with the perfect physique.
I'm sensing a theme.
I'm sensing a theme. And her work has been described as fiercely feminist.
Yeah. But what's wild is when she made Revenge, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
I can give like just a little blurb about
Yeah.
what that's about. So her directorial debut, 2017's Revenge. It's a French rape revenge film. It
Mhm.
follows a girl having an affair with a married man with promises he can bring her to LA and make her famous. He takes her to a vacation home and his friend ends up raping her while he's gone. She runs into the desert and has to fight to survive with 3 men while they hunt her down, and she kills them all. It's
Good
perfect.
for you, queen.
It's like, so bloody at the end.
Mm-hmm.
His entire vacation home covered in blood. Amazing. We
Yep.
love that. He dies. She shoots him, I think, in the head.
Mm-hmm.
flies back, hits the wall, penis swinging.
Uh-huh.
And we love to see it. She said in an interview with IndieWire that the theme of this movie... My landlord just texted me. I'm turning my sound off. About the theme of this movie was, as soon as you create a problem, we push you and we erase you. So she made a stink about being raped.
Mm-hmm.
We push you and then we erase you. And then she erased them. So she said, revenge was my first feminist expression, but I didn't know it at the time. So it wasn't her intention to create this wildly feminist film. She discovered it after she viewed it herself. She was like, oh, yeah, it's pretty feminist. I just wanted to say that little blurb about revenge because I really enjoyed that movie. And it was extremely feminist. But she was like, I didn't realize that.
We as women hold a lot of anger.
And a lot of our subconscious
yeah,
comes into our writing and our yeah, absolutely. Anyways, that's it about revenge.
So why this movie stands out? So it's a mix of psychological horror, body horror, and feminist themes. So the psychological part is the fear of aging, losing our beauty, which this was my Barbie movie.
Yeah.
100%, and being rejected by society. And then it's got a ton of body horror, visible cellular division and distortion of the body and fluid leakage.
Oh God.
And oozing wounds. Grotesque. And self-mutilation in the injections. Needles freak me out in horror movies.
Oh, I just we talked about bones freak me out.
Yeah.
Needles freak you out. Needles have never freaked me out.
It's just I don't know. I've always been scared of them. I can't get my blood drawn at the doctor's office without having a straight up panic attack.
Shocking to me.
I know. I do. Yeah. But I can get tattooed and get piercings and I'm fine.
I think maybe it's the blood aspect.
I think, no, because I'm fine with blood too. It's just the injecting of some weird shit
okay. No,
into
that's
my
valid.
body or pulling bodily fluids out of me. It's gross. I don't like it.
Okay, I will say, I did have a fear of this for a little while after I saw the remake of The Omen with Julia Stiles.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that the nanny kills Julia Stiles by putting air into her IV or whatever. And then I was like, no, I'm scared about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm terrified of. That's part of it too. Yeah. Okay, so I broke it down, not beat by beat, but scenes that really stood out. And I figured we could talk about the significance and what they mean in those scenes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So they have a ton of close-up shots of Dennis Quaid. When he's eating the shrimp.
Yes.
Grotesque. And I feel because they zoom in on his face a lot too, and they just make him look like a disgusting man.
Yes.
And
which he is
showing how disgusting men's behaviors are to women and how they can be absolutely awful and still be successful while women tear themselves apart. And
to be successful.
Yeah, and still not
aren't
good enough.
Yeah.
So I thought the shooting of the men was very interesting.
Oh yeah, and even at the end when oh my gosh, when it's she's falling apart.
Yeah,
Sue is falling literally her teeth are gone, and he's like, every man likes when a woman smile.
Yeah,
when women smile, and even how that shot, it's so comedic and kind of uncanny.
Right,
where you're oh God, even if I didn't like when men say that to me. I do. Yeah, I hate it worse now.
Right.
Fuck.
So you remember when she gets in that car accident?
Yes.
And is in the hospital and the nurse is checking her back. And she's like, you'd be a great candidate for the substance. As someone who suffers from scoliosis, could I not take the substance? Is my back too fucked up? Is that the only determining factor of taking the substance? Because they don't do really any other tests on her. They're just your back is straight. Guess you can take the substance.
So fair. Did you not know Bri had scoliosis?
No, I didn't know. Just when you
pretty
put it
severely. My spine literally looks like a U.
Yeah, your spine to you. You can't take the substance.
Your back too fucked up.
Your back too
you're
fucked
stuck
up.
Like this. Sorry.
So I can't take it.
Fun. I can. Chance.
I think I can.
Okay, cool. Together.
And also, my other thought while watching this is how much do you think it costs?
Oh, the substance?
Yeah. Like they never mention cost.
I don't know if there was any cost.
I feel like there would have to be because it's like in that.
But I think it was like an experimental thing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, experimental human trials.
'Cause they
kind of
never
is the-
really
Exactly
bring it
right.
up.
Because like the
Okay.
beginning showed the eggs,
Yep.
like the yolk splitting.
Yep.
And I think that they were like, good enough. Let's try the human
Let's
trial.
try humans.
Which was the kid probably in the doctor's.
Yep.
And then the guy at the diner.
So when she gets the kit, the directions are super vague. I would not be able to figure out.
I literally had that same thought.
I would not be able to figure out how to administer this. Like it's like on note cards, but it's like 3 words.
It's so simple. And then also like when Sue comes out of her back, the back of
Yeah.
that, birthed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also kind of mimicking like the like horrifying nature of childbirth,
Yeah.
I imagine.
Right.
How's she know how to sew it up?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't. They give her like the shit, but I'd be like, no,
I'm not a fucking doctor. Okay.
sure not.
When she stares at herself naked in the mirror right before she injects the substance, I feel like that scene was super powerful because it was like she was staring at herself and like looking at all of her perceived imperfections.
Okay, I want to actually, can I harken back to this article I read?
Yes,
The
please
shitty
do.
article I read.
Yeah.
From a woman. There's an article from The Guardian that said, Demi Moore's tits look too good to need the substance.
The fuck?
Hello? And then,
Do you not know what body dysmorphia is?
I know exactly right. So the director, Coralie, is quoted as saying something like, she doesn't know a woman who hasn't looked in a mirror and critiqued her own body, right?
Right.
So then in response to that, the writer of this article responds, her film doesn't really help, though, with its lingering, lascivious gaze on dewy youth and portrayal of aging as explosively, grotesquely repulsive. The intent is satirical, but does satire work when it reinforces what it's satirizing?
Huh?
I said,
That is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard.
thank you. I said, am I crazy or is everyone else missing the point? Isn't that all the purpose? It's supposed to be a mirror. It's supposed to be like, look at what you are participating in.
Right.
But then I read an article from New York Times by a lovely woman who agrees with me and also discusses like mirrors,
Yeah.
right? She says, we were not meant to be this self-aware or self-conscious, like Zoom meetings, you're staring at yourself, selfies, like
Yeah.
constant selfies, mirrors everywhere.
Cameras recording a podcast.
I know. Anyway, the camera was meant to linger on Sue's body or Elizabeth's body to highlight what movies have done to our understanding of what bodies should look like.
Yes.
Right? That is the fucking point. That is to say, we've completely destroyed female body images.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So it's not about the bodies themselves in this movie.
Mhm.
It's about how we perceive them and what that does to us.
Right.
Anyway, fuck you, that woman.
Also, seems like it would be really fucking painful to take the substance
Oh, yeah.
because her back gets straight up like torn open,
Uh-huh.
and a full fucking human being just like comes out.
Yeah.
And Sue just like sews her back together, like you said.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a doctor. Can't do that.
Yeah.
No fucking way in hell.
But she like inherently knows what to do.
Which is crazy. Also,
Like she's birthed and she already had. So that's why I'm like, they are of one mind to a certain extent.
to a certain extent. Right. Also, the other thing, I loved how like quickly Elizabeth was like able to move around after she like got switched back. My back would be fucked up.
Well, you're not allowed to take the substance. You wouldn't know.
Your back would be fucked up. Sewing your back together and then she's like in the shower. I like cringed at that scene.
Oh,
she's
like, and it goes like, it does that really cool like shot of her like
yeah.
almost like a claustrophobic
Yeah.
like kind of vertigo thing.
Yep.
And she's like sitting there. Is that,
Yep.
that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's like in the shower. It's like going back on her like open wound.
Here's what I think though
Ouch.
too about this movie is that it's a little bit like hyper reality.
Right.
Right? Like it's not obviously, because the substance isn't real.
Right, exactly.
But like, this movie exists in a reality that's like hype.
Yeah, right.
Everything's bigger. Everything's about like
Yes.
a little more colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, yeah. So like, to me, yes, that would be painful, but I don't know if that. I think that's just something we have.
We have to like
ignore
accept and ignore.
accept it,
Right?
Because it exists in a different reality that we do not. We
I'm just
simply
like,
do not.
it made me
exist in.
cringe watching that scene.
Oh, well, yeah,
I was like, that would burn so fucking bad.
yeah, on your
God.
fucking back, yeah.
And then the other scene is the casting call. When Sue goes to the casting call,
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
the grotesque comments the directors make about women's appearances. So there's literally, quote, "Too bad her boobs aren't in the middle of her face instead of her nose."
Mm-hmm.
And then Sue comes up and they're like, everything's in the right place this time.
I know, and that's why I like then they flash back to that when the Eliza Sue?
Yeah.
Like she's like looking in the mirror as her like fucked up self, and it's like, good thing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she doesn't switch right away that night, Sue is like hooking up with that fuckboy. So she's like stumbling around. That's exactly how I feel when I forget to take my meds.
For real. It's like brain zaps.
Yeah.
Well, my brain zaps. I don't know about.
I'm like walking around like, what the fuck?
I'm right in. I think I ran out of my pills for like 5 days, and it was a fucking nightmare. And I had to clean one of my clients' houses, and I had to sit down and be like, I don't think I could do this.
No, I had an issue. This is a long story. Maybe I shouldn't tell it, but
Tell it. Tell it.
When I got put on my medication, it was like, the generic version of the meds, and the pharmacy told me that my insurance wasn't covering it when I went for a refill, and it was like 2 weeks I didn't have my medication, and I went in there and started screaming at them. Come to find out, they were trying to charge it under the like brand name.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, no,
they
we have
fucked it
that.
up.
We have a similar story because this is so mean and traumatizing, probably for the pharmacist. But I was having brain shocks so insanely bad. I'm on Effexor.
Yep.
Or venlafaxine, the off-brand. And my insurance and my doctor just like weren't speaking properly to each other. So it was not on the pharmacist at all. But I was like, can you just like sell me one pill just so I can survive the night?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I just like can't do that. It's going to be real expensive or like liability, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to throw myself into traffic then. And then I just drove away.
Well,
anyways,
our healthcare system sucks.
I love it here in America. Nothing? Do you have anything to say about
I
that,
was just
Chance?
going to say, I'm on Truvada.
What is that?
It's PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
my story.
Yeah, we're on
Crazy pills.
bad brain pills.
I'm on slut pills.
Ooh, makes sense.
As soon as my finger looked like a witch's finger, I'd be done. But you know what I mean? Like when she forgets to switch the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd be done. But it also just like goes to show like how desperate she was.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I'm like in my head, I'd be like, I'm out.
Well, and then I'm thinking at the end of the movie when she tries to terminate Sue,
Mhm.
but then has to like, I was just watching it literally probably 3 hours ago. That's the end scene, and thinking like, what the fuck would I do? Because your body is so broken
Yeah.
at that point. Might as well just
Continue on.
continue going,
Right.
or roll my ass into bed and binge watch TV until I slowly pass away.
Yeah, seriously.
How's my ass getting in that bed though?
The other thing I noticed in this was like the way that men treat Sue because she's hot and young.
Sure.
So like an example, like the neighbor comes over and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
about to yell at Elizabeth for making too much noise because she was like renovating the bathroom.
To like hide the
Yeah.
like when they switch.
And then
yeah.
Sue opens the door and he's like, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. And the dude that Sue was hooking up with, that pissed me off too. Like when he
Runs into Elizabeth.
Yeah, and he's like screaming at her and being super rude to her. And then of course, Dennis motherfucking Quaid being a dick. Just objectification.
That man's like nasty in real life
I know.
too.
Exactly. When Elizabeth is about to go on her date and sees the billboard with Sue, and this is our favorite scene.
Because it's like the most relatable scene. Something that I think I have done recently.
Yes.
That I told you about.
Mhm.
That I was like, this is like.
Yeah. And she like loses her mind and starts like scrubbing and peeling the makeup off her face.
Mm-hmm.
I almost cried.
I know.
Watching that. Because it's just like so real. Like I've done that before.
I've done it like last week. I did it last week.
We're just like, man, I did all this work and I still look hideous.
I know. And
like,
then you rub your fucking, yeah.
Rub your face raw. The second time she switches late, there's a note. This was kind of fun. I saw it when I was watching it here at the shop with our intern. And I was like, wait, stop, rewind. Because I wanted to see what this note said on the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, it changed my life. And you know what that reminds me of? Weight loss commercials.
Exactly.
That's exactly
or like
what they say.
Ozempic or some shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It changed my life. Fuck you.
And it was in regards to the substance.
Yes.
Yeah.
The scene where Elizabeth is cooking and loses her mind and starts throwing eggs around.
We know what you want to say about those eggs, bitch.
What a waste of eggs in this economy. What was the egg budget for this film?
We need to know what the egg budget was. Can you look that up, Chance?
What was the egg budget?
For
the substance.
But
also, when I watched this, it really made me think about like women's complications with food.
Purely, well, yeah. Also because you never see Sue eat.
You never see her. She's always drinking a
She's
Diet
always
Coke.
drinking. Yep, she's always drinking a Diet Coke.
Yeah, just the complications of like our food issues. Like we're either not eating or binge eating, and then we're like starving ourselves to try to get rid of that weight. Hit home for me.
Absolutely, and all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of us, especially a lot of us who were raised in the early 2000s.
If we start crying during this episode, sorry, not sorry.
I can see you tearing up a little bit.
We're just gonna start.
I was just
bawling.
thinking about like how heroin chic was such a huge thing.
It seriously
in the early
was.
2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Heroin chic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So for being old and fucked
You
up,
stupid bitch. Anyway,
this note I wrote is so funny. For being old and fucked up, Elizabeth is strong and fast as fuck.
Yeah, when she's like
when she's like a little golem, and
yeah,
she's
like running her ass down,
pulling Sue down the fucking hallway like it's nothing, just dragging it. I'm not even that strong now.
No, well, again,
I have scoliosis.
You have scoliosis. That bitch, I like text you and you're like, I moved to the couch in the shop, and I'm like, please stop doing that. I need you to stop doing that because you're gonna fuck your back up again.
Yeah, well, we know what happened with the TVs. That fucked me up.
And now that TV is haunted by your healthy back.
Yes.
Yeah.
My other question is like, what would happen to Sue's body after she terminated it? Does she have to like bury the body? Does it just like disintegrate into nothing after a while?
It must, because of what happens to the...
Yeah. So that's what I'm assuming happens.
It just kind of turns into like jelly slush and then...
disintegrates.
And disintegrates like
That's
into the
gotta be what
carpet or some
happens to
shit.
it. Yeah. Okay.
But Elizabeth's body's just going to be hanging out.
Yeah. Oh,
That
God.
made me so sad.
I know.
That
So
entire scene.
Yep. She terminates Sue and says, I can't do this. I need you because I hate myself. You're the only lovable part of me. And I was like, oh, Elizabeth.
And this is where I think we get to like the overall theme of the movie.
Yeah.
Is this like sort of like, I think climax, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they're both awake together suddenly,
Right.
because she like almost terminates her, doesn't quite. And it creates this like weird thing where they're both awake together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I think the overall theme is of the fight between the unattainable beauty standards for youth, like for
Mhm.
young people, young women specifically, and how aging female bodies are hidden away or obliterated.
Yeah.
And it's shown quite literally at the end during the brutal fight.
Oh, yeah. The fight scene.
Yeah.
She has like superhuman strength. Sue
Oh,
just punts Elizabeth across the
I know,
room.
especially considering she's like, Elizabeth is like dragging her ass around.
I know.
But no. Yeah, Elizabeth gets absolutely destroyed.
I know.
But yeah, I think that's where the themes
Yeah.
come through.
And it's like when she's smashing
Very-
her face into the mirror.
Into the mirror.
Yep. Right into the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But like herself kicking her own ass, basically.
Right. When Sue kills Elizabeth and her body starts falling apart, the teeth part is like my worst nightmare. When her teeth start
Well, yeah,
falling
it's
out.
everyone's worst nightmare, baby. That's like, I've had
Nightmares
this week,
of
maybe
my
last.
teeth falling out. Have you had nightmares of your teeth falling out?
Never actually had that.
Really? That's
Yeah,
a
because
really
this
common
bitch
nightmare.
has no stress in his fucking life.
Right.
And then her ear just straight up falls off.
Her nail,
Yeah.
her ear.
Mm-hmm. And then she like runs back and tries to inject more of the substance, and it creates a monster. And as it's doing that, it like flashes back to the casting call when the director said everything seems to be in the right place this time.
I said that. Yeah.
I love the flashbacks that they do because it just like reiterates the whole point of
Exactly
this fucking
right.
film.
Yes.
And then watching her get ready as the monster, and she's just like sticking earrings into the side of her head.
Into like weird holes. that are
Yeah,
there.
and then she's like trying to curl her little hairs and it just like fries off.
Do you remember that video, that YouTube video of that little girl? I can't remember when this was. Probably a while back, maybe like 15 years ago, where she's like curling her hair and her hair burns off.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And then she made, like, in the movie, in The Substance, when she's trying to curl that one gross, slimy hair
Yeah.
and it like burns off and she just goes, oh.
I know.
Like she makes this like tiny noise and you kind
Yeah.
of feel bad.
I know.
Well, we should feel bad because it's this monstrous creation that society is
Right.
that has created based on set expectations, right?
Right.
Boom.
She sticks a picture of Elizabeth over her face, and as she's doing it,
She super glues
yeah,
it to
super
her
glues
face.
it to her face, and it flashes back to like Harvey, Dennis Quaid's character, saying, "Pretty girls should always smile." I motherfucking hate it when men say that to me.
Yeah.
It pisses me off so much, and I bartend.
Well, especially
and
because we're
men-
bartenders and when
men
we hear
say
that.
it to me all the time.
Someone said that to me. Didn't someone say that to me? Last week I told you.
Oh yeah, I think you did.
It
Yes,
wasn't
you
that I
did.
wasn't smiling. He didn't say anything about smiling, but I had a resting face.
Yeah.
My resting face, which is
Right.
my resting bitch face, which I think we talked about
Yep.
a couple episodes ago. We both have it.
Uh-huh.
But this man was like, "Are you upset? Are you angry right now?" And I was like, "Are you talking to me?" And he's like, "Yeah, are you upset? You look really mad." And I was like, "No, that's literally just my face."
I just hate it so much. It's always when I'm bartending and I'm like making a drink and then men are like, "You should smile more." And I'm like, I'm literally focusing on making your drink. Do you want a drink or do you want me to fucking smile? Pick one. And also, I'm not here to look pretty for you. Like, it pisses me off so much. I don't exist to make you comfortable.
They think we do, though.
Right. I just wrote, ah ha 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 ha. Oh, wait, I skipped some. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
So she shows up at the show for her like New Year's Eve show
Uh-huh.
and hallucinates everyone saying how she'll always belong and she's irreplaceable. And it just goes to like show how far women go to feel like they belong and they're important. And I just like, when she walked in, I was like, is this really happening? When she
Oh,
walked-
yeah. And then it flashes back to like her walking down the
hallway by
like,
herself.
completely empty.
Mhm.
Yeah, hallway, yeah.
Here it is. Ah ha ha ha. The boob falling out. I was like, what the fuck is that? Is that a tit? When it was
There's
like,
2 different ones.
yeah,
She has on her.
yeah.
And it's showing through that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they attack her and start calling her a monster. And the dude hits her in the head with a microphone stand and her head just fucking explodes.
But then what does it do?
A new one grows
It
back,
regenerates, baby.
and she spews blood everywhere. And as it's happening, it keeps flashing back to all the nasty shit that men have said to her. This is the monster that like society has created.
Yeah, it's
and
not-
that is
yeah.
what it is saying.
Yes. This is on you. This is not on me.
Right. So then she leaves. Her body falls apart. It's literally just Elizabeth's head scooting across the sidewalk until it gets to her Hollywood star, where it just melts into the concrete, and then a sweeper comes and like cleans over what's left. So it's just like, well, you tried so hard. There's fucking nothing left of you to remember.
Except for her slowly rotting body in her apartment. That's the only, I feel like that's the only thing that's going to be left.
Mm-hmm. That's all I have for
Because
like,
Sue's going to like,
yeah. Now I just have, the reality shows and pop culture shit for you.
oh, okay. I have some like quotes from Coralie that I didn't get to. One is, she says about extreme body horror, the extreme body horror in the substance. She said, "This is what we have inside. There is the white, lovely smile, and behind this, it's a whole other world. I'm going to show you the inside world. And yes, it's that violent, it's that bloody, it's that uncomfortable, and it can be that fucked up."
That's so true.
Yeah.
I love that quote.
And then I have another one. Regards to the substance, I wanted to do like make a feminist statement on purpose. Like Revenge, she didn't know that that's what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, oh no, this one, it's going to be so fucking clear.
Yeah.
I'm going to slap you in the face with this metaphor, with this like symbolism so hard. And she said to really address what she was feeling in terms of inequality, gender inequality.
Yeah.
There is anger in all of us. The level of violence I need to put on screen expresses the inner violence that all those issues have created inside of me. They are my tool to address it, to say something about it, and make something with it that I hope will hit people's minds. I love her so much.
I know. I know. I love her.
Okay, so my pop culture, literally, I just wanted to talk about the insanity that we went through in the early 2000s.
Oh,
Specifically, when I look at this, looks like 2004, but one started in 2002. So the insanity that is plastic surgery reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
What ones do you remember specifically? Do you remember any?
I didn't really.
Or did you watch any?
I didn't watch any plastic surgery TV. I watched America's Next Top Model.
Which we can also talk about.
Yeah, watched America's Next Top Model. I watched a lot of like MTV. Remember those stupid MTV shows like Next?
But then there was also like True Life, like
yeah,
I Want to Be Thinner, or
right.
But then MTV also did one that was called I Want a Famous Face,
Yeah,
where it
okay.
was like young people
Oh God.
getting plastic surgery to look like celebrities. Insanity.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember watching this one. I remember watching Extreme Makeover, not Home Edition, the original, which was Extreme Makeover.
Okay. Yep.
And then Dr. 90210, which was on E.
Okay.
What was our obsession with that in the early clear obsession with that in the early 2000s?
I don't know, but there was a lot of them.
There were so many of them. I didn't even cover all of that. Also, there was like that fictional show, Nip Tuck, which is about plastic surgeons and plastic surgery.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. No. You?
It's kind of gay, I think.
Yeah, my parents used to watch that weirdly.
Huh?
Oh, really?
I've never seen, but I remember
Yeah, it was
their
on FX.
DVDs hidden in a closet of all the movies that they had these weird. That was super weird actually, because there was that and there was like 6 Feet Under, but they had like the DVD collections of like Nip Tuck and 6 Feet Under, and they had them in a specific closet that like we weren't allowed to go into. That's where they kept the school supplies too and all the good snacks. So
And all the good.
I don't know what that was
Nip
about.
Tuck was like pretty slutty, pretty sexy. And I think there was a serial killer involved. Never watched it.
Oh,
That's like just
okay.
like another plastic surgery show.
So it's just more evidence of my parents trying and failing to keep me pure.
They
You
failed.
found it, bitch.
I found it.
You found that shit. So Extreme Makeover, it started in 2002. I can't remember how long it lasted. But it included men and women.
Okay.
But criticized for unachievable body standards. Which, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello? All of these should be.
Yep.
But I wanted to talk about this lawsuit that I came across that I thought was really fucking sad. For Extreme Makeover. So in the Wikipedia page. So sorry. We're gonna go to our favorite book, Wikipedia. So Extreme Makeover, which was a show about plastic surgery, faced a controversy after a contestant's makeover was canceled because like the recovery time wouldn't have like suited
The show.
the show.
Okay, gotcha.
But this contestant was still put through like everything that the other contestants were put through, which was like they had their family members come in and list all the things wrong with them.
That's fucked up.
Isn't that fucked? I don't even remember that. I feel like I kind of remember that being a thing.
Oh
but
God, that just reminds me of something.
So the intention for this whole thing was to compare like the comments that they said before the surgeries to the comments that they would say after.
Yeah.
Horrific. But this woman was in the next room listening, which they all were, I think.
Yeah.
The contestants were. But then she never even got to get the fucking surgery.
And
They didn't even like her family members had to be like goaded into saying bad things about her because they were like, I don't know, she looks fine to us, like she's beautiful, like
yeah,
they had to be like goaded into it.
Yeah.
Her sister felt so bad about what she had said that she had intentionally overdosed.
Oh my God.
So that's Extreme Makeover and how cool that fucking show was. And then there was The Swan from 2004. Claimed it had 9 million viewers, but it only lasted one season. It featured ugly ducklings. I think all women. I think this was all female. Okay. But in the beginning of the show, they would be like wearing these like nasty, like gray underwear. And they would have their bodies like up on a screen.
Okay.
And the experts that were there would like circle things and talk.
Oh God.
It's giving like sorority hazing.
That's traumatizing.
There was one woman I saw that was called out for having a sad look.
Oh,
and I was like, me and Bri would have to get surgery
I am
for a resting bitch face, but there was like something about her chin, like she doesn't have like a strong enough chin, and her mouth like naturally goes downward. And I was like, okay, well, give me that surgery right now, bitch. So not only did these women have to undergo all of this surgery, they had to compete against each other at the end to for who would be the swan.
That's horrifying.
Horrific.
That reminds me, have you ever heard of I think it's on Netflix, Naked Attraction?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
So it's given the context, I don't want to say it's incredible, but it's incredible trash TV. So it's a BBC show. And on BBC, you can show full nudity after like a certain time. So it's this reality dating show where one person comes and they're like, I want a date. Okay, here's 5 people. They're completely naked. We're going to reveal them from the feet to the waist. And you're going to critique their bodies. And you're going to pick one to eliminate. And then we're going to show their torso. And you're going to critique their bodies and then pick one to eliminate. And then we're going to reveal their faces. So you see their entire fucking dick, balls, pussy, and ass. And then you pick one to date. But then the contestant who's there to get the date also goes and after they eliminate it down to 2, they go and get naked. And then the 2 naked men or women, because it's both, they critique their body, and then they pick one to go on a date.
It's terrible.
Horrifying, incredible trash TV.
When was this?
Current.
It's current.
It's current.
It's like right now, I believe.
Oh God.
Well, at least it's not about like plastic surgery.
It's just
Joke's on them. As soon as I saw that penis, I'd be like, out.
some people are like that. They'll go up and be like, "Oh, it's a bit small, isn't it?"
No, I just don't like the look of penises.
yeah,
Penises
I think they're
are
ugly.
disgusting.
Yeah, they look fucking nasty.
Love them.
All right. Well, then I have my last one is, besides I Want a Famous Face, which we already talked about, but I have Dr. 90210, which I was like obsessed with. It was on E! It's also from 2004. What the fuck was going on in 2004?
Apparently this.
I kind of want to know is that when America's Next Top Model started?
2004.
Yeah, will you check? That's a hell year.
Yeah, what the fuck?
2003.
Oh, okay.
Around the same time though.
So Dr. 90210 lasted 6 seasons originally. It's all obviously all set in like Beverly Hills 90210.
Yep.
It basically just what you would assume they're just doing plastic surgery for people. But then there was a new one that began in 2020, all female, like led, like surgeon team. But they were still like touting things like they were doing that were like mommy makeovers or like vaginal reconstruction. Okay. It's very feminist of you. Let my vagina look how it looks. L. Did you want to say anything about how much we hate America's Next Top Model?
That show traumatized me.
Well,
as a kid.
it fucked all of us up.
I was like, I'm not skinny. What the fuck? And like, I developed super young in like 4th or 5th grade.
Right.
And everybody taunted me for being fat because I developed so young. And like, watching that show fucked me up. So bad.
Yeah. The mean model, Janice Dickinson,
Ugh.
was so fucking awful about women's bodies.
Yeah.
I would go so far as to call her like an anti-feminist. Like she was so horrific. And then they added like plus size season, and it was just like, oh, just regular sized humans.
Yeah.
Got it.
God.
But like when just the comments from Tyra from like every judge
Yeah.
in those earlier seasons fucked with my body image for sure. Hated what I looked like for a very long time.
Yeah.
Still do. I think it gave so many women body dysmorphia, and I hope that Tyra Banks holds that with her and thinks about that for the rest of her fucking life.
I hope so too.
She won't,
She doesn't.
because she's a psychopath, probably.
Probably.
All right. Anyways, that's all I really have. I mean, we could probably keep going on about all the pop culture that fucked us up.
Yeah. Even just like movies from the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yes.
Like Mean Girls. We talked about this when Regina started eating those candy bars.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, body standards are so
Yeah.
different now. You have to have a fat ass.
I know,
Whereas in
but that's the thing.
2004,
women's bodies are not trends. And people keep making them trends. Like back in the 90s, early 2000s,
it's the
you had to
Kardashians
be
that are
super
doing it.
skinny. And now it's like now that the Kardashians are super famous, now you have to have a BBL and like
Yeah, and then the Kardashians are stealing everything from black women.
yeah, like our bodies are not trends. Stop doing that. What the fuck? It pisses me
I
off.
just don't know when that's going to end and how we could like force it to end. Because it's fucking sick and it's sad to live through and it's
Mhm.
hard to live through.
Yeah.
And I just feel bad for like 12-year-old Ariel or 12-year-old Bri.
I know. Yeah, me too. Okay, so special
Do you
effects.
want to cry now?
No, I'm skipping it. We're not crying.
Okay.
Special effects.
Let's hear it.
So Coralie wanted the film's effects to be largely practical to ratchet up the gross out factor in a way that CGI can't.
Yeah, she also was saying something like she wanted to do movies in a way it was like, I don't want to like burn a house down. I want to do something a little bit more like specific,
Right.
closer,
Mm-hmm.
and like a nastier.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want it to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be like little and frightening,
Right. Right.
which I feel like is better.
I think so too. The scene where Sue is birthed out of Elizabeth's back was like a silicone dummy that was just sliced open.
Oh, okay, but still practical.
Still practical.
Yeah.
Pierre Olivier
Olivier.
Persine
Damn.
was the prosthetics and makeup effects designer. They used everything from plasticine, silicone models, and clay to exploding gelatin heads, puppetry, and full fame latex bodysuits.
I love that. How long? Do you remember how long?
Oh, I have it written down.
Okay, good.
Demi
Demi
Moore
was in the-
spent 7 hours in the chair to become Gollum. So, like, the last transformation before she becomes, like, the monster.
When she gets kicked to death.
Yes.
Yeah.
7 hours. The design of Monstro, played by Margaret Qualley, was more complicated. It was a full bodysuit. The original designs were very masculine, and Coralie wanted something more feminine than, like, just a rubber monster.
Yeah, fucking duh.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
What movie is this?
Yeah. The suit is all practical except Demi's screaming face, which was achieved with digital.
Do you know what I was also watching it just like a couple hours ago, like thinking, because it was like she's like on her back, but also like jaw forced open.
Uh-huh.
And I have nightmares of
Yeah.
like my jaw being like stuck open.
Oh. Yeah. Nope.
What is that called?
Lockjaw?
Yeah, like lockjaw.
Yeah.
MJ.
I don't know what it's called.
What the?
Don't
Wow.
you get lockjaw from tetanus?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think you're right.
You just think I'm an idiot.
I do.
Well.
Well.
The scene where blood shoots from Monstro, so the effect was achieved with an actual fire hose, and it was rigged with about 30,000 gallons of fake blood.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's
so much.
I know, and I like forgot how fuck it just keeps going.
It was a fire hose.
Like it just keeps going, and it's so fucking funny.
I know. Yep.
And I think there's a part where you just see like Dennis Quaid or Harvey, right?
Yep.
Just sitting there like in the audience like this, just like being covered in blood.
Yep.
I don't think like I maybe he runs away at some point, but I remember just like a shot of him like,
oh, what the fuck did I do?
you created a monster.
Yeah, for the scene where Elizabeth's face crawls back to her star on the Walk of Fame.
That was real, right?
They created a special effects head on set, used gelatin skin filled with blood bags and disgusting stuff inside that they could blow up. So it was.
But it wasn't really Demi Moore's face, right?
No, it was a special effects head. No, they took her face off her body. Yeah.
She would have really been snubbed if that were the case.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about inspiration?
Yes, but also me and Chance were kind of having this conversation before we started recording. But so Demi ended up losing last night in the Oscars to Mikey Madison. And a lot of fans are like writing articles or think pieces about how that totally mimics the theme of The Substance.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Because it's like this small or this like younger, more more youthful person portraying like this very sexualized character, like winning over Demi, who's been working her entire life towards this, an aging actress, working her entire life towards it. That's it. That's all. Chance, did you have any more to add to that?
No,
that's basically what we were saying.
Yeah.
It's just like a silly little like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So Coralie was
I honestly haven't even seen that movie that she's in.
Honora. It's fine.
You've watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Not as good as The Substance, but I'm a horror fan.
That's true. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't bothered to watch it. Didn't even know it existed until I was reading who was nominated for the Oscars.
I like Mikey Madison though.
Yeah.
That bitch was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
She was in Scream.
And she was in the remake of Scream. As the killer.
Yep.
It also kind of just speaks to how horror doesn't get the
credit it
deserves. From
yeah,
the Academy.
Me and Bri were like looking up women who have won in horror. And apparently it was, what was it, 1990? it was Kathy Bates for Misery, and then 91, Jodie Foster won for Silence of the Lambs. Then I don't remember any other.
So like even then, it's too more thrillers.
Oh, sorry, I said white.
Well, and Demi Moore isn't.
That's fair. That's true.
But true. It's like two thriller movies and horror.
Rather than like grotesque body horror.
So
yeah.
Like, the Substance even getting nominated, considering it's like a super feminist body horror, is awesome. But it was a shot in the dark because the Academy doesn't take horror seriously as
absolutely
even
not.
when it is a horror movie that like obviously says like has a point of view and says so much, like The Substance.
Like says so much. I will say Toni Collette was snubbed.
Yeah.
2018. Mm-hmm. She was absolutely snubbed. For Hereditary. We go in with
inspirations
and little Easter eggs.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to start?
You can start.
Okay, well I don't know if this is like a direct inspiration. I don't think she's ever said it, Coralie, or if it's like an Easter egg at all, but I have Black Swan and Starry Eyes.
Okay.
Which Black Swan everyone knows.
Yeah.
That was also nominated, and Natalie Portman might have been actually nominated for Best Actress in that. Can you look it up? Thank you. And then Starry Eyes is more of an indie film about you. We should watch it. We should watch it for sure. Both of those movies, and then also The Substance. It's about like losing control of your body in order to gain notoriety.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she was nominated for Best Actress.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, nominated Best Actress.
She did not win though.
I do not believe so. 2011.
So I will say when I saw Black Swan in theaters, I saw a matinee with my older sister. Mm-hmm. And the movie finished. I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Well, not fun, but like, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But I remember there was, because it was a matinee, and I think it was probably like
she did win.
Oh, well.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't just say that on the first page of Google, but
it was like a Tuesday. We were seeing Black Swan matinee, so it was me and Holly, my older sister, and then old people surrounding us. Probably like 4 older couples, and I remember it ending of her. I think she's like, looking up, and the old woman directly in front of us just goes, when it's like silent, she just goes, "Well, that was weird." Kind of was queen, but it was also great. All right. What's your first little Easter egg or inspiration?
I just put that she took a lot of inspiration from The Fly, like David Cronenberg's.
Yeah.
Just like body horror inspiration, I think.
Also, there is a literal fly shown on the back of Harvey's neck.
I did see that. Yep.
When he's eating the fucking mayo shrimp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I said that movie deals with, both The Fly and this movie deal with the issues of like scientific hubris and like unchecked scientific progress.
Yes.
So like doing experiments on humans when maybe we shouldn't be.
Maybe we shouldn't do that.
And then also like how I think specifically in Jeff Goldblum's, he just like keeps fucking with it. Like he keeps going in his little stupid ass machine.
Oh yeah.
But like Sue, and then also I think there's like a parallel between like Sue just absolutely not respecting the balance of it.
Yeah.
And then fucking with like Elizabeth's.
Yep. I have The Shining.
Yes.
So I put the television studio colors of the corridors and then the bathroom colors too, even.
Yeah.
And the pattern on the carpet was kind of inspired by The Shining.
Yeah, it's very Kubrick.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more thing with The Shining.
Okay.
Which is that beautiful naked woman coming out of the bath in room 234? In The Shining.
Yeah.
She's coming out of the bath. She's all hot.
Yep.
And then Jack like comes and like embraces her.
Oh, yeah.
And she turns into like this old crone.
Oh, yeah.
237.
237.
Yep.
And it's kind of like how Elizabeth, like, instead of Jack, like, witnessing all this, Elizabeth is witnessing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I put The Thing. I put inspiration.
Oh, because the heads.
Yes, for special effects and like prosthetics and
I
stuff.
think also Basket Case
Yeah.
was also, well, can be thought as an inspiration because of like how weird the fucking parasitic twin looks.
Yeah.
It's supposed to look like a like octopus looking
Yeah.
fucking thing, and Elizabeth definitely
Mm-hmm.
looks like that at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the last one I put was Carrie.
Yes.
And the scene that reminded me of Carrie was the bloodbath scene at the end when she's just like spraying everyone with blood.
So I have that as well, but it's also very reminiscent of the Stand By Me scene where all the boys are around the campfire and they're telling the story of Lardass.
Oh,
and how Lardass
yeah.
goes into the pie eating contest.
Yes.
And he drinks all that olive oil and then cracks that egg and eats it and then does it and then just bombs over the whole audience.
Yep.
And it's about like the ultimate revenge against bullies, which Carrie's about too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, or society and their unceasing expectations. Revenge against that sort of shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I had for inspirations. What did you have?
I also have Elephant Man, which is David Lynch.
Yep.
And it's about or like the parallels are it's like holding up a mirror to societal expectations, especially when it comes to her ultimate end form. Wait, what is it? Monstro Eliza Sue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Alien Covenant, which explores the concept of a parasite taking over a host body, disrupting human nature, and prioritizing the sustenance of a ruthless, superior being. And then The Portrait of Dorian Gray. So Elizabeth's decaying body is hidden away while her younger self is out enjoying successes. And then also the literal portrait of Elizabeth in their apartment.
Yep. All right, I've got some behind the scenes facts for you.
Let's fucking hear it.
Let's go. So Coralie initially didn't think that Demi Moore would want the role and almost didn't send her the script. I guess a lot of actresses turned it down because they thought it would ruin their career. I'm glad Demi took it.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm so glad she sent her the script. I can't picture anyone else in that role.
She did so fucking good.
She did.
She's also 61, 62.
Yeah, she's like 62, I think. Yep.
Playing a 50-year-old. And I was like,
she embodied that character so hard.
She went for it.
She did, yeah. So Pierre, the special effects designer, would suggest the use of visual effects for certain scenes, and Coralie said no, stating, "It's a movie about our bodies and the reality of how we feel in our bodies. I needed to speak to the reality of the way our flesh can reflect our mental deformation, and I knew this had to exist for real."
She's so fucking cool.
She
knew
cool.
exactly what she wanted and she like did it.
Yep.
Like she knew exactly what she wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her inspiration was like her own feelings about turning 40.
Yep.
That was the inspiration for like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. They shot the entire movie in France, apparently.
Yeah, she's from France.
So Margaret Qualley really struggled with her own prosthetics. She said it was like a torture chamber. And they
Do you know
would
what that
film,
reminds me of?
Yeah, and they would film until she had a panic attack.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
What?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Jim Carrey had that same thing. He would have panic attacks.
In his suit?
Yes.
Oh, really?
So he would get panic attacks. So they decided that they were going to train him in like torture.
Oh my God.
Like CIA, torture techniques.
Yeah.
So he could withstand like the suit for long enough.
Oh, wow.
'Cause it was 8 to 12 hours, I think, in the makeup chair for the Grinch.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And you see that shit. He's fuck. I mean, and so is Margaret. But like, he got like, because he could not stop having like panic attacks and he felt like claustrophobic in it. And so, they had to like teach him on like torture techniques or withstanding torture techniques. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He really did it for us. Made my childhood, honestly.
Sue's boobs were fake, by the way.
Oh.
So they glued on prosthetic ones to make her look more curvy because they wanted her to be like the perfect version, you know, give her like what people picture in their minds as the perfect body.
Well, right, because it's meant to
Yeah.
make us be
So,
like, hey, look.
Yeah, her boobs weren't real. Margaret actually had to do the aerobics routines, and she said she would get wasted first thing in the morning before they filmed because she was like super nervous to dance like that in front of everyone. She claimed that a combo of tequila and weed helped her make it through.
Good
Well,
for you,
I
Queen.
kind of love her for that.
Get it. Hell yeah.
And she's a Nepo baby.
Yeah, tequila and weed.
We made the right one famous.
The scene in front of the mirror where Elizabeth is removing her makeup was one of the most difficult scenes to film.
That's what Demi said. Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that.
Coralie required as many as 45 takes for the shot, and the makeup team intervened and said they couldn't shoot it anymore or they would ruin her face from applying and removing makeup over and over again. So they were like, you can't do that. Her face is going to be raw. We have to stop.
I don't love that.
Yeah. I don't love that either. It's like pushing it a little.
What is the fucking dumbass director that does that?
Kubrick?
Is it Kubrick?
Yeah, he was the one who made Shelley Duvall do.
Break
Oh.
down because they did like 45 takes.
They did like.
or like
400.
200. Yeah. Some
Oh
like
my
wild shit.
God.
Yeah. Broke her.
Really? Oh,
Absolutely.
shit. Yeah.
I don't think it was
Damn.
actually 400. I think it was like 125 or something.
Just some like,
That's still a lot.
but that's
of
some
motherfucking
wild
takes.
ass shit for like little scenes that she was in.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's
Universal sold the film to Mubi after Coralie refused to change the ending.
ha.
Haha. What does that remind you of? House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They really don't like the ends of horror movies. They want them to be changed.
Fuck ever. Let's
So-
start our own production company, and we just do whatever.
We just do whatever we want. We still have to make that
Chance
drag
is staring
queen
at me.
clown
No, I mean
movie.
like movie production, not like your shit. Not podcast.
We have to
Oh,
make-
do you want to do movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, he
Okay.
can have it.
You
We'll
can't.
just give you. We'll pitch you our ideas.
All right.
our horror movie ideas.
Critical and audience reactions to the film. So it received 5 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which is super cool. What did they win? Best Makeup, you said?
Best makeup. And
Yeah.
I think that's it.
The budget was $17.5 million.
What did they make?
I didn't even write it down, honestly. Yeah.
Just looking at it, 85 mil.
Damn.
Yeah, it went good. Went well. Movie.
Good for you, Coralie.
Yeah.
Or,
Made a lot
sorry,
of money from this.
77 mil.
Well, never
So,
mind.
I just wrote down we can talk about our overall takeaways.
Well, I also have like one last quote
Yeah.
from Coralie.
Yeah.
So she said, okay, growing up in a very gendered society in terms of how we're socialized to act, dress, and what we play with. Coralie says, all this is a tremendous, huge, still unbalanced relationship model that creates so much violence and inequality.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about that.
Let's think about that. Take a moment. Yeah, this movie really hit home for me. Like I said, it was like my Barbie movie.
It just says what like we've all been talking about forever and ever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like the unrealistic like body expectations for women specifically
Mm-hmm.
about like how we're not allowed to age. Like men,
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
can age. Yeah, silver foxes.
silver fox, like daddy,
Yeah.
beekeeping age, all
Right.
that.
Yep.
But women look fucking nasty when
Yep.
we turn 40.
Yeah.
Sick.
The other thing is like dad bod,
Mm-hmm.
and mom bod. Mom bods are gross. Dad bod's hot.
Better
Apparently.
work your fucking abs out,
Yeah.
you stupid, ugly bitch.
Yeah.
But men, they get like that beer belly, and everyone's
I
like,
just
dad
remember
bod,
this.
love it.
I'm gonna get deep here for a second. When I had Trent, I had really bad postpartum depression. So I lost like a shit ton of weight after I had him. And the only thing that people commented after I had Trent They just said, "Oh, you look really great. You lost a lot of weight. Like, you look fantastic." I'm like,
That's why-
I'm so motherfucking depressed.
That's why point blank period, we should never be commenting on anyone's
No.
weight ever. Because we do
Never,
not know.
never.
You don't know what anyone's fucking going through.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't eat.
Like, oh, you look really great. You've lost a lot of weight. Yeah, I have cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have like really bad body dysmorphia. I haven't eaten in 5 days.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Stop commenting on people's weights.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Don't do it.
Yeah. Ever. Ariel just got upset. She has to take a breather.
And it feels like this like is the shit that only happens to women.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very targetedly, very pointedly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Men don't like us.
Nope. They made that pretty clear.
Well, yeah, this current administration has made it pretty fucking clear
Yeah.
that they want us to be property.
Mm-hmm.
That they hate us, that they value a clump of cells more than they value us in our own lives.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't care that we bleed out from a miscarriage. As long as you're like hot and you stay home and the men can vote for you and you're fine. Anything else though, you're going to be targeted and you're bad.
It just reminds me of this interview. They had some girl on Fox News.
Was she a dumb bitch?
Yeah. And she literally was talking about how if women would just start eating healthier and listening to their husbands, they would be much happier and wouldn't have to be on antidepressants. First of all, number one, hamburgers make me very happy. I love a good mushroom and Swiss burger. Okay? Don't judge me.
Also, I was like, I watch luckily I'm not on this like For You page where it's Republican women like telling us what we need to be doing to make ourselves happier. They're like, you know what's like fucking crazy is that Republican women are like most notably like more happy than like Democratic, like women who identify as like liberal or Democrat or leftist. And it's like, yeah, because we have empathy, because we are actually smarter than you. We have like a college education and we can critically fucking think. We're depressed because we like think about what's going on to other people besides ourselves.
Right.
And you're just doping your ass around being like, I gotta take care of my like husband. Probably on Quaaludes again. Let's be honest. They want to be in the 50s. Quaaludes and a fucking martini while their kids are off at fucking school.
Uh-huh.
And they're doing nothing but thinking about how much they want to suck Donald Trump's dick. I bet they're real fucking happy. Amazing.
All right. Ready to get into the articles?
I'd probably kill myself if I was a Republican. Anyway. What do you mean article? What?
Article. The article I read.
Oh.
So I found an article.
I used up all my anger. Okay, go. I'm done though. All my shit's done.
Oh, Quaaludes and a martini.
I know you do, honey.
That sounds lovely.
When we get married, you can be the housewife.
I can be the trophy husband.
Yes.
So I found this article on Forbes.
Already fucking funny.
Already funny.
What's this man doing? Film.
There was an article ripping the movie The Substance apart. And these are just like some of the takeaways I took away from this article as I was reading it and getting actually upset. I was like texting you as I was reading this article and I was like, I'm so pissed. So they said it was a grueling 142 minutes long and was just as bad as, guess the movie. I told you what it was.
I don't want to say it. I want to make Chance guess.
Guess the movie, Chance. What movie do you think that they think this is just as bad as?
I have a sticker for it on my water bottle. I love it so fucking much. It's from 1990. It has Bruce Willis. It has Meryl Streep. It has Goldie Hawn.
Death Becomes Her.
Oh.
How dare you?
How?
That's the movie
Fucking
that you're gonna try to like shit talk it with? What are you doing?
Also, women in the queers love
Death Becomes Her.
Death Becomes Her. Hello? Yeah, when you told me that, because you like gave me a little like peeksy into like what he was saying,
Yeah.
I think I threw shit down and like walked out. I
Yeah.
had to walk away from you. On my 18th birthday, I showed all these very normal, like athletic women. Like they were my best friends. They wanted to like celebrate my 18th birthday with me. I showed them that movie and they were like, "Hey, Ariel, what?" It's my favorite. I've
Yeah,
been
it's a
renting it
great
since I was
movie.
like 8 years old.
They
So,
also
immediately, his opinion means fucking nothing to me. What do you mean bad? That movie's amazing.
I literally wrote next to it, "Excuse me?" What are you talking about? Okay, whatever. Then he said they lingered too long on their naked bodies before stripping it away.
That's the fucking point. That's the point.
Right. Said the film made no sense. It's sci-fi, sir.
I think this was just an article by a dumb man.
It's like
I
a
think he's very
sci-fi
stupid.
body horror film.
But
It's
also,
not gonna fucking make sense.
Bri was saying like he's a film critic. Hello? Like, do you know movies can exist like outside of like our own reality? Like this movie doesn't make sense. I don't know. Watch any other movie.
Also, what part about it exactly doesn't make sense? Because there's nothing that really doesn't make sense.
He was
not
saying
like it's a
her
fucking head
stitching
trip.
up the back and like doing all this shit would make no logical sense.
So does a body coming out of another fucking body, you
Yeah,
fucking
like-
weirdo.
Fucking chill, man.
Hey,
Yeah, like
Hey,
eat.
guess what? It's not real.
It's hey,
Your biggest problem is that this movie,
the stitching.
the movie where a body comes out of another body overnight, and she stitches the back. Oh,
But listen, the stitching.
Then he goes on to say it's full of internalized misogyny.
No.
I feel like you have to say something.
No, I'm just watching Chance take his glasses off for like the
Oh, it gets
fourth
worse.
time while you're reading this.
Says that it's about women turning on women while trying to make men look like the bad guys.
all right. This guy just didn't watch. The
No,
movie.
he didn't watch the fucking movie. And also I referenced that women turning on women. Yeah, it's about like this dual, like these dual ideologies we have to face constantly fighting each other, and it's symbolic. It's all about symbolism.
And guess who has placed that on us?
It's men.
It's men. It's men.
Women are not doing that
No.
to us.
No.
It's nasty, fucking stupid ass men. Like, what's his name? Did you get his name?
His name was Eric. I didn't get his last name.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Eric, this episode was entirely dedicated to you. I hope you never experience happiness again in your life.
He also says, ironically, this film has very little substance.
Unironically, you don't.
I feel like you're just too stupid to
You
understand
literally
it.
just proved that you have no substance. You stupid bitch.
And then I just put, of course, the article is written by a man.
A man.
Of course it was. That was my article that I had to tell you about because it made me upset.
I hate that guy.
Any thoughts, Chance?
Stupid.
Didn't watch the movie.
The comments on it, though, fucking hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
It was all women
Yeah.
just calling him out, being like, you obviously didn't understand the point of the movie.
I would just call him a virgin over and
Who
over.
allowed you to write this article? Who allowed you?
Well,
Forbes.
I
Well-
just feel like that everything he said is like he is the pinnacle of a man who like just he's what the movie is about. He's exactly what the movie is about.
And it's almost like he purposely misinterpreted what the movie was about.
yeah,
He did it on purpose and wrote a shitty article about
Some
how he
fucking
misinterpreted
incel.
the entire fucking movie. Yeah, probably. Well,
Well, that was Eric. That's all I've got. That's all my notes.
I know. That's all my notes too.
What are we at for time?
We are at the perfect time to wrap up.
Perfect.
Damn. Well, we don't have like a comment
We don't have a comment, but we
because we're gonna dedicate it to Eric.
Eric, thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so
shitty
much.
article.
You're so smart. Wow. I definitely have internalized misogyny for sure.
Anyway, Don't forget to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at SlayWhatPod. Please, 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 please rate and review our podcast. It really helps us out a lot if you like us. Anyway, that's all I've got for you this week.
Next week or in 2 weeks, I guess.
In 2 weeks, yep.
We're going to be covering Final Destination.
Because the new one's coming out.
The new one's coming out soon in May, pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll be covering 1 through 3. Bri will be covering 4 through 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So get ready for that. Watch all 6, please.
Watch all 6, please. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Slay What is hosted by Bri Vodvarka and Ariel Varshnarfker. Production and editing is by me, Chance Smith, with Strangehavens. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at SlayWhatPod. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe if you like what you hear. Check out our sister podcast, Small Town Big Gays, hosted by me and Travis Gorell, and go to strangehavens.com for more.